I think the most pressing issue facing us at the moment is possibly not the funding issue, although connected to funding, is the downturn in audience numbers. We really need to reconnect with our audience, I think, as a theatre sector, and some of that is obviously as a direct result of the lack of money out there and the fact that we're in a recession. But I think we need to seriously address who are we making theatre for? Is it relevant to the audiences? Do the audience want to come and see it? And if not, why not?
Obviously funding, but also our strategies for resilience and renewal. I know this sounds trite because we're at the Theatre Forum Conference and that is the title, but I think it's very important that the theatre arts is about creating new ways of engaging and new ways of developing audiences.
Well, I suppose I feel that arts matter, I believe that arts matter, but it's another thing entirely to prove them. Beyond the arguments that we've been making recently about how the arts are good for employment and for our international reputation and for cultural tourism, I really think that the arts are about something much more fundamental than that. And I think the big challenge for those of us involved in the arts is to stop or to move beyond making arguments simply about money and actually talk about value. Why are the arts valuable in Ireland?
Everyone's going to say funding, aren't they? It's such a terribly boring answer. I think the biggest issue that might be facing us is lack of innovation of engaging with what the issues of real people. So it's not that we don't have the money to make stuff, but are we relevant?
I think funding is always going to be an issue. It continues to become more pressing as we cope with what's happening. But audiences is personally, in my role, what I'm finding to be a growing issue, and just encouraging audiences to keep accessing the arts and ensuring that they're positive in their reaction to it. But even just getting them in the door maybe is becoming more challenging than it ever has been. So I think audiences and inspiring them.
Pulling it together to make sure we got our representation right, to make sure that all around again next year, that some sort of cohesion and mutual understanding leading towards a decent movement to keep making the best quality theatre for the citizens of Ireland, so that people have theatre to go to, which I want to go out, it's important, but it's important, and that is a possibility.
I think how we're going to move forward, I don't think we're actually talking about the right things, not necessarily this conference, but I think collectively we need to start talking to one another more, and I think not to be afraid of one another, and I think to engage with audiences. I think the greatest thing for me is engagement with people, with the work, and I think that's critical, because without that engagement we're totally up a certain creek without certain implements.
Well, obviously how to deal with a shrinking economy, but I think that we are exactly the sector to look at that. We have to look at increasing the reach of our shows, to talking to more people, to making people come to the theatre and pay for their tickets, and replenishing our sector with new people and economically. So I think it's a very exciting time and a big challenge that we can rise to brilliantly.
Maybe encouraging new audiences, stimulating a demand for theatre nearly more than worrying about a supply for it would be a big thing.